I'm on. It's out. We're back. We're good. I think we're pretty good. There we go. I guess that's good enough. Button up. Whoa, yeah. Still got to work on that hair and makeup thing. There we go. All right, let's kill the music. Comments. We're up. We're good. We're going. So it's holiday season. Very exciting. Unbelievable. Incredibly stressful too. I believe that whatever depression is like a big deal during the holidays, but so is excitement. But so is decision making. So is everything that comes up. We take a look back. What did we accomplish this year? What didn't we accomplish this year? What do we focus on? What we did do? What we did do? What we did not do? You know what? I think the hard part of that whole thing is we probably focus more on what we didn't do. But that seems to be the problem with everything. Everything. It's always the negatives that get more attention than the positives. Definitely shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. Theoretically, it shouldn't. Well, not theoretically. I think realistically, it shouldn't be. We'd all be so much happier if all we did is focus on what we've accomplished, what we do each and every day, what we've accomplished over the course of a day, of a week, of a month, over a year, maybe even over a lifetime. But then as we get a little bit, hey, Stuart Prince, good afternoon to you. But then as we continue on, what do we do? We get closer and well, I don't want to say closer to death. That doesn't sound right. Doug, good afternoon to you. As we age along over here, then we start thinking about, oh man, well, what didn't I accomplish? What could I have done? What am I doing today that actually gets me there? Big questions. Always seems to come up at the end of the year. As much as I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, and for the record, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Heck, if something that's important to do, just do it. Sometimes I like to wait to the beginning of the month or something like that, but other things you just do. Just go and do. When that opportunity arises, you got to go, just kind of go for it. And if you don't, then you get that word that get tossed into the equation, regrets. Hmm. But the thing that's always been the biggest challenge is what to say yes to, what to say no to, and what to say, yeah, count me in no matter what. Count me in no matter what. Now, if it's your effort and what you're doing, oh, well, you got to filter through those things too, what you should do, shouldn't do, and then to count me in no matter what. Well, if it's your thing, that should be absolute. How do you identify what that count me in no matter what is? Takes a long time, doesn't it? Really takes a while to go figure out what's really truly important to you. Sometimes it takes a lifetime. If it takes too long, and you don't have the energy to do it, don't have the time to do it, and it becomes tough. And it becomes tough. And I think though the internet, the way communication is gone, the way that we have so many things right at our fingertips, probably makes a lot of things so much easier to go and do. Hey, you want to take a class in something? Just go online, take a class. You just want to learn something and don't want to need the formal education that goes along with it. You got YouTube videos all over the place on everything. You don't even have to type it in. You just say, I'm afraid to say this out loud. I'm going to get a response, but you just say, hey, Google. And then you get a response. Google response to you. Like, how did they know that? Or Siri or whomever it is that listens in on every one of your conversations that that's going on. All right, it's a little weird in the technology side of things, but yeah, got one of those things in the kitchen. I say good morning, and it tells me good morning back, gives me the news, gives me the weather. It's like, it's kind of cool. But it also gives me the ability to learn anything too. Don't have to take a class, right? If I want to learn how to cook something, I just ask it, hey, how do I cook a butternut squash? And you got that. So it's easy to learn. Let's rephrase that one. It's easy to gain, it's easy to access the information that one would need in order to learn. so we can accomplish a lot more. But because of that, we also have the ability, we have the ability and maybe the desire, and this is directed more to you type A people that find everything in life to be exciting and everything interesting and everything a possibility and everything is like, well, if I could do this, then I could do that. Well, then maybe this, and then we can explore that and the rest of that stuff. And we just keep on exploring. We just keep on exploring and not actually doing. Now that becomes the issue. What do we say yes to? What do we say no to? And what do we say count me in on? And I'm hoping the comment that just went up over there. Ah, Doug, there you go. Actually, he doesn't need to Google. His wife knows everything. Very good. Yeah, the wife is was brilliant. And you know what? That's a big part of it. Let me tell you something. Besides the knowledge base, it's the decision process that goes along with it. But how do you really know? How do you really know what you really truly should be doing? You got to ask yourself that question, and it's tough. It is definitely tough. I mean, some people go out and they'll meditate on something. Some people ask their spouse what they should be thinking. I'm not too sure that one's right, but maybe they could ask their spouse what their spouse thinks and what their spouse thinks that would be best for you, but still it ultimately comes down to you. And of course, the supportive spouse to allow you to pursue that dream, pursue that goal, and go where you feel that you should be going. But how do you figure out what you should or should not be doing? And it's countless examples, countless situations where that comes in, right? I get phone calls from friends. It's like, oh yeah, can you support this, support that? And it's like, yeah, well, some yes, some no. It depends. It depends on how consistent it really is. And I will be showing, and there are a few things coming up that I definitely want to support. Seth Greenwald has got an event coming up that's going to be in December, and that has to do with improving yourself with improv, not comedy. He's got a different approach to the whole thing, but definitely improving yourself each and every day. Um, let's see. Trish Poggi, EJPJs, they have an event coming up in December, which will be great. And she's been doing this for quite a while. She set herself up as a nonprofit in the midst of a paperwork side of it, but she's just about there, if not as a valid 501c3. I think she is at this point, but whatever. She does a pajama drive. And she's been collecting pajamas at many, many locations in and around Nassau, Suffolk, and I think sometime in some of the Manhattan locations, Queens locations, collecting pajamas to be given out during the holiday season. Great stuff. Great stuff. She's got a great group of people behind her on that one. Just really great. It's got a great backstory that goes along with it. Also, but it's those kinds of things that I think are really something that's consistent with me that I like to support. People that are trying to help others improve, better their situation, deal with different challenges, stuff like that. Not just the run of the mill stuff, but those kinds of things. And also, of course, people with stories behind them. And that's always the kind of thing that kind of drives me a little bit in now. My filtering process. So, do you have a filtering process? Look, I'm sure you get contacted by many people. Hey, can you do me a favor? I have this thing coming up, and I'd like you to support it. Can you write me a check? Venmo me. Forget about writing a check. Nobody writes a check. Can you Venmo me? You know, and do those. Can you share it on social media? How far do you go with that whole thing? It depends if it's consistent with what you're doing. Attending events. Whoa, there's so many different things you could attend. On the networking side of things, I mean, David Gustin is still doing the 516-631 ads all the time. And then the other networking groups, the BNI, the Lit Tips, and there's another one too, Spheres of Influence. It's another event. That one's coming up too. We'll definitely be highlighting what it is they're doing. and they are doing a networking event. They're looking to share and continue to promote out what Spheres of Influence is. Great people running that group. Really, really just terrific folks and very giving people. And that's it. So what Spheres of Influence is about is that they are taking, I guess, the membership dollars and monies they raise at different events, and they're supporting other nonprofits that are just too small to really gain some bigger notoriety. So the nonprofits that they would support all have to be valid 501c3 nonprofits. They go through that filtering process, but they also have to be small. They have to be small. I mean, they're not going to go out and support some of these foundations. They got a national presence. Not really it. What they're trying to do through the effort of Spheres of Influence is to help others that need the help in either raising money, big part of it, but even just gaining more visibility on the social media platforms or advertising platforms or papers or radio shows and things like that. God, that's a group of people that I really think is terrific. So that's my process. But what is yours? What do you do? How do you figure out what's in your best interest? And that's a factor. What's in your best interest when it comes to supporting different events, different groups, different situations? Got to have a filtering process in there. It needs to be consistent with what you're trying to do. And how do you know that? Well, it's kind of easy actually, because after you go to something and then the next day, did it put a smile on your face or did it not? They're like, damn, that was a waste of time. Maybe we could justify it was a learning experience and all the rest of that stuff. So yes, everything we do, even those things we do that we shouldn't have done because it made no sense to do, but now you're a little bit clearer on it. That's where age comes into it, doesn't it? Years and years of trying different things and learning from them. Those learning experiences add up to something. But on that following day after you go to an event, and that following day after you have a meeting with somebody, you just really were not 100% sure where it was going to go to. But on that following day, when you wake up and you're like, that was good. Why? Made you feel good? Okay, that's good. The pajama drive that Trish is doing, it's once a year. It's nice. Like to support it, support her efforts. The rest of that stuff, it helps people. It's a one-time deal, or once a year thing, and that's it. Some of the other things, a little bit more consistent, more time consuming. But when you think back on it, when you get yourself together that following day after something, did it put a smile on your face or did it not? If that thing, that effort, that meeting, that promotion you did for somebody really made you feel good, there you go. That's a yes. Still not a count me in absolutely, but that's a yes. That's just something that you might want to consider, or really probably should consider continuing to do. Now you got to go that step further. How does it get to that count me in absolutely category? How does that happen? It's kind of easy. Well, maybe it's not easy, but it's easy. See if you can stop thinking about it. See if you can stop thinking about it. Spheres of Influence. I met with them, went to a meeting. I think it was good, stuff like that. Yes, supportive of it. I think it's good. Do I think about it all the time? No. No, every time an event comes up, something like that, yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. Supportive of it, yeah. There's a bunch of things I'm like supportive of because of what they do. But is it a count me in? Absolutely. Got to figure out the time frame on that one too, and what I really want to do, and how it factors into other things that are taking place. It just might. It just might. It depends what else is happening as to whether or not it's a count me in absolutely. And that is not a reflection on them in any way, shape, or form. I think it's great. And if I could help in some manner to give them a little bit more visibility, give that group more visibility to pull in additional members, and you want to know something, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So you will hear from them. You will have them on, without a doubt. That's definitely something that's an absolute yes, for me. Does that go? But to count somebody, to count yourself into something absolutely, here's the trick on that one. If you go to something on a Thursday night, let's call it December 1st, coming up. It's a Thursday night. You go to something December 1st on a Thursday night. And then all of a sudden, December 10th rolls around. So that's now a week and a few extra days. A week, you're into the weekend, maybe thinking about it at the beginning of the following week, or you're into the following week. What do you remember about that meeting that you went to on the 1st? Do you recall who you met? Do you recall some of those conversations? Did you walk out of that feeling good? Probably. But did you walk out of that and have that on your mind for the next 10 days? Or did you have to be reminded of it again the next time the meeting comes up? And it's the thing. So if it's something that you're constantly thinking about, that definitely would fall into the count me in absolutely category. Figure out what's more important. If you got too many of those count me in absolutely things, you all got other things that go along with it, the family, the friends, work as that goes, maybe other nonprofit efforts and other ventures that you're on, other count me in absolutelys. And if they get to be too much, you got to change your absolutely count me in absolutely to really push it up and prioritize, put it in some sort of a pecking order as that goes. But if you're thinking about something, for every one of those 10 days from December 1st to December 10th, and that you can't get that out of your mind, and something now you're on. Yeah, you're definitely onto something. That becomes a something. That's a count me in absolutely event and effort. And I hope you do find those, because that gives you a big time purpose as to what it is that you're doing. And it also gives you clarification as to what you should not be doing. Maybe that just becomes the big basic focus, of your efforts. And it doesn't make a difference about age or education, money, anything like that. None of that really matters. Because when something's that important to you, you go figure out a way to do it. You just find those resources, or perhaps they'll find you if you decide to talk about it openly and that much. And you just kind of wear that up on your shirt sleeve and keep that out there. Because there's a few things that happen with it. One, you can have a little side conversation with somebody someplace. And when you lean forward and talk about it and they see your excitement with it, that person that you're talking to, they're going to see that. They're going to say, well, you know what? I spoke to Doug. I spoke to Karen. I spoke to Carrie. I spoke to Bob. And they were like lit up when it came to that project that they were talking about. It's really something. Haven't seen them that excited about anything, in quite a while. They really are vested in that one. Now you got other people talking about it. Gosh, it'd be nice, right, if that was your business. What a nice blending of the two that would be. Somebody's really, really, this is where a really successful business comes from. When you're super excited about your business because you're super excited about the products and the services you offer, because you're super excited and super embedded in that, and that whatever that career is that you're doing, that is absolutely the right thing for you. You're good at it. You can provide value in a number of different ways to different people. You just know it. You tell people about that, man, they'll follow you. Then you're going to build not just clients, but you're customers, you're building clients, you're building lifelong supporters. That's great stuff. That's beautiful in the business world. But it could be just as beautiful in your personal efforts, in the nonprofits that you sponsor, or the nonprofits you even get involved with. And why does money not matter? It doesn't. Even time doesn't really matter because you can figure out what time you can allot to something and just make it worthwhile. There's many different things that we could do, and if you know what you do well, you can then take that skill and apply it to various areas in a short period of time and make it work and be effective at doing that. Let's assume that you're super good with LinkedIn, not that good with Facebook, don't even know about some of the other platforms, the rest of that stuff. Or you can make TikTok videos that really work for you. And you go in and you shoot some video one day at one event with some nonprofit event. Now you have this collection of video, and then you can edit it up in different ways. TikTok videos, what they're short or they can be short. And you're really, really good at that, but not really good at everything else. You don't even have to be good at social media marketing, but you're really good at creating those little short videos. Whew, I know quite a few places that would love to see you attend one of their events, love to capture that video that you could create and you could do. So now your time that you're dedicating to that, we'll call it a nonprofit. It's up to you as to when you can do it. Middle of the night, during the day, morning, whatever. It's your time frame. So time that becomes much more in your control that you're dedicating to a nonprofit. But they will appreciate it immensely because what you would give them is something that you've created, that you're really good at creating. If you are the person to do that and nobody else is doing it, that makes you a superstar, doesn't it? Absolutely. See, we all have these superstar powers. We all have these things that we're just innately good at doing. It's using those things in the right place at the right time with the right amount of effort. And that's really what success is all about. And that is where you really will be. It'll make it much easier for you to decide upon those things that you should say yes to, no to, and count me in at, because you could figure out how you could best use those talents that you have, for that group. And if you have an emotional connection for that group, or if you have a financial consideration for whoever that business might be. And you could blend those things you blend those three things together, man, that is it. That is just absolutely golden. And I hope you can. I hope you can as we continue along our careers over here. I hope you're able to mold that career that you have or the efforts that you're participating in, where you can blend everything together where it really works. And I think as we get older, we get older, we get wiser, right? As that phrase goes. But as we get older, I think we definitely get clearer as to those things that we're good at and things that we care about. Wouldn't it be nice to know that the other way around? Certainly would, right? Then we could have all the energy and the enthusiasm, to go and accomplish something and keep going on. And sometimes as we get older, we got different things that we got to deal with. Maybe when you're younger, we really don't. And they got more time to devote to these different things. But that's all right. Because as we get older, we now understand much more. And that understanding is absolutely so important. Because that understanding will help you decide what's good, what's bad, and what's not. It'll help you to decide what's yes, what's no, and what is an absolute count me in. Kathleen, afternoon to you, or morning. Yeah, morning still out in California. And you could really still, you could be really, really clear as to what that specific effort, really should be. And when you find that, that is going to be something that you think about, all the time. And maybe that also becomes your own magnet. That becomes your own law of attraction. That becomes your own little nucleus of well, power is what I was going to say. That's that energy. It's not power, energy. That you have that you can give a darn what day of the week it is because then that is on top of your mind. You don't even care where you're at, what group you're with, and stuff like that because there's always some way to kind of work something in, where it's to the benefit of you and also that person, that group. Something, look, once in a while it's not, true, but that's it. That's it. And if people will absolutely be attracted to that energy because they're going to know you're doing something for absolutely the right reason. And they will want to tag along with that. Then they'll have those issues that they got to deal with. The yes, no, or count me in. But the most important person to figure that out with, of course, is you. What is it that's your yes? What is it is your not at this time, no, can't do it. Really appreciate the opportunity, but maybe you should speak to kind of an answer. Depends on how polite you are, as opposed to just say, nah, leave me alone, can't do it. Always somebody to send something to that might have an interest in it. And then there's that count me ins. Count me ins. My count me in on this is introducing you to some phenomenal people that have worked through different situations, that have seen opportunities that maybe other people have not seen. That's my count me in. Taking that message and bringing it to our students, high school, junior high, even college students, whatever. Letting them see that, what, everybody gets faced with different challenges. There are opportunities out there for everybody also. We just need to figure out a way to make that happen. And there are definitely different ways to make that happen. So helping everybody see those opportunities, it's big. It really is big. And having the confidence to go after those things and having the confidence to do something a little bit different to take advantage of those things that come up. Bottom line, hey, Seth, must have heard me say your name before. Post your event if you can there, my friend. But, if we can, boy, if we could figure out our own count me-ins and share that with other people, maybe they'll join us, maybe not, depends upon their situation. But maybe that'll help them find out what their own count me-in efforts are. Maybe they'll see that they could figure out what really works for them and make it work that way. And I'm telling you right now, if you could speak to a junior high school student that has got everything in front of them, but they're a little bit lost, but they maybe see what it is that they're really good at doing, and maybe you see what they're good at doing, and maybe they don't see what they're good at doing, and you could share your thoughts about how that can become a career. Wow. Think about how impactful that would be. And of course, whatever the age group is, there's a lot of us that are different stages of life, different situations happen. Hey, maybe you've had a really successful career and you're ready for stage 2. It's like, I'm not retiring, but I really want to do what I really want to do. And you need to make that happen. That's a beautiful story just as well. Help people see those opportunities. The best way to do that is to speak well, to speak often, and for you to live inspired. Create your own power of energy and let other people see it. They'll be inspired too. Have a great day. See everybody tomorrow. We're going to do this again. Yes. Yes. Let's go hit a little music. I got to get new music for this thing. So there we go. A little rock music. The inspiration music.